Greetings. Where's the rest of the crew? Everybody else here?
Hello.
Here we go. We got Achilles and Ryan.
One by one. Well, something happened. I changed the layout. We were on yesterday's layout, and your intro video is not on your layout. What is going on here? I mean, I can go back. I can go back to the previous layout, which was this one, and then play your intro. So
That's weird.
consider this a pre-intro, and we go to the intro. And by the way, who stopped the countdown? I didn't stop it. So
Didn't it finish counting? I thought it did.
no, it didn't. I was only 10 seconds, I think, unless they passed super fast. So let me see. Okay, that's not yours. That's Samuel's. We need to reorganize some things around here. Well, this is happening because
Starting the show by falling on my face.
we've
Anyway.
reached the maximum of layouts.
You don't want to try
And
one?
so some people share the layout with somebody else, so the clips are all around. But I don't know why your layout doesn't have your own video. I mean, nobody deleted it. I don't know what happened, and I don't have it. Oh, I know. It's like telling me, Achilles, you gotta make an intro for your brother Jeremiah. That's why it happened. So yeah, can you please sing for an intro, because we don't have one?
It's the Jeremiah Show.
Yep, okay. That's good enough.
Don't use that in the actual video, please.
Ryan, will you sing along?
In there. Okay,
All
well,
right.
today we're answering.
Ryan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Today we're answering a very important question that Awake Not Woke asked about 2 weeks ago, and I missed last week because of technical issues. And that question is, where did the dinosaurs live, like in the Bible? What times were they, were they with man? All of that. She was very confused about that. And I made a slideshow of sense, a bunch of Google tabs open one by one right next to each other that we can go to if you want to share my screen. Or boom. So if you look at the Bible, and this may be a short one because we're just answering a simple question. You have your 6-day creation, right? You have the foundation here at the top, the first three, and then you have him filling that foundation. He creates heaven. He creates things to put in it. Maria, can you take care of him? He's decided to do
Jeremiah, we recorded you saying this at the Ark Encounter. We got to show that video.
I can't find it.
Okay, do you not have the video where Jeremiah spends exactly 1 minute explaining the 6 days of creation? That video.
You recorded that.
It's not under the Calling All Saints tab. So where is it? Where do I find it?
It's not in my videos.
Where was it?
Ryan recorded it. It was never posted, to the best of my knowledge, but it's just something Ryan had.
So maybe
I did send it to the group chat. I did.
So maybe it's on Ryan's videos. No, it's not.
No. I didn't upload it to my live stream thing, but I sent it to the group chat. So Awake should have access to it, as well as every other host. Jeremiah should have access to it, but you'd have to scroll way back. I mean, I could send it to you now, but I'm driving, so I can't do anything right now.
I have it right in front of me. Like, I could just talk about it right there.
Yeah, just go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, let's have a refresh.
Okay. My main point is that you have 6 days of creation. Day 1 is God creating the heaven. Day 2 is him creating the firmament and, putting the ocean in its place. Day 3 is him creating plants on all of the land. If you look directly underneath that, each of the following directly correlates to the day right next to it. Day 4, he fills the heavens. He creates the stars, moon, sun, all of that. On day 5, he fills what day 2 was built. In day 2, you have the firmament, the air, and the water being divided and everything. On day 5, he has the animals being put in that. He created the foundation, and he put the stuff in the foundation. Day 2, foundation. Day 5, he put the stuff in that foundation. Day 3, he built another foundation. Day 6, he filled that foundation. And now we're talking about day 6. See, if God created all living animals in day 5 and 6, and on day 6, he created all the land mammals, okay? All of the animals that were on the land. Then you got to ask yourself, when, by the biblical belief, were dinosaurs created? And that was her main thing, is when did dinosaurs live? And if you see here, on day 6, even this little cartoon drawing shows the dinosaurs in the image. We can even see in the Bible where it talks about dinosaurs. In Job chapter, I believe it's 15, it says, "Behold now the behemoth." Well, what is the behemoth? We've seen several times, if you just read this little passage, it says, "Bones as strong as iron." You got a tail like a cedar tree. You got all of these different descriptions.
Right.
What you have there is this. This picture fulfills that description. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, an elephant has a strong stomach." You know, an elephant, eats grass like an ox. Does it have a tail like a cedar tree?
Right. That's the thing that you can always get them with tail like a cedar. Does an elephant or a hippo or a rhino have a tail like a cedar? I think not.
This is supposed to be chief in the ways of God. That's specifically mentioned right over here. Where 22, it covers him with their shadow.
17.
17. It's not in verse 17.
Oh, you said, I thought you were talking about the tail, the cedar tree.
The chief of the ways of God. Here it is, 19.
19, yeah.
Chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto. So, yeah, chief of the ways of God. A hippo, an elephant. I mean, there's bigger creatures out there. This thing would be chief in the ways of God. He's asking if you would fear this creature. This thing is way more scary than any of those.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've noticed something in the Greek translations of the Hebrew. It's saying, I've added it in a previous video, on a video that I'm actually doing this, and I mentioned it last time, that has a lot of Kent Hovind in it, that the Greek translation says, "Behold the behemoth," and they have added a parenthesis. And in the parentheses, they say the hippopotamus.
In some versions,
Why?
they say that, but that is a human translation. That is not.
Yeah, right. Like you are touching the word of God, and you dare add a parenthesis and say, "Well, what God meant to say here is the hippopotamus." The hippopotamus doesn't have a cedar tree for a tail.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
the cedar.
the Bible. Either that or hippos looked really weird back then.
Well, but have you seen their tail though? It's like this little thingy, you know?
It's like a rope. Yeah, you definitely would describe it as a cedar tree. Cedar is a big.
The cedar tree we use it as an analogy for something that is super tall. We compare it to a cedar tree, always. All right, now check the one on the left or the one on the right. Check the one on the left or the right to see another. I mean, that's not a cedar tree. No, don't close it. All right. It's all right.
Fact is, it ain't a cedar tree. We can all agree on that.
That ain't one. It surely is not a cedar tree.
It's not a cedar tree.
All these tabs you can easily pull up on Google just by searching the basic questions. Everything I have here, all the answers I'm giving you, you can find on Google in like 30 seconds. So you got to ask, when was the word dinosaur invented? The word dinosaur was invented in 1841 by Sir Richard Owens. That means before 1841, the word dinosaur did not exist. Sorry, can you take care of it?
Right. Terrible lizard.
Yep,
Pays him something.
that's what it means.
He's her child.
Go on a walk. I don't know. Just give him
What a walk.
I don't know.
He's a baby, not a dog.
No, he's not a dog. He's trying to join the show, and we've not given him permission to join the show. I wish I could
Maria
show
doesn't
you.
like it when I call
He's
Nehemiah
poking his
like
eye
a-
with the pouch trying to get to us. Anyway, so in 1841, the word dinosaur was invented, which means before 1841, they didn't use the word dinosaur to describe it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Was the Bible written before 1841?
Kind of.
Yeah, I believe it was.
I would think so.
I think it's safe to say
Yeah.
it was.
I'd like to think that the Bible is older than 1841, which means the Bible wouldn't have the word dinosaur in it. At least not a modern version of it. The Bible would have some kind of other word. Now, the thing is that the word dinosaur means like terrible lizard. Okay? So if the word dinosaur meant terrible lizard, then what other types of terrible lizards would a word fit? How about dragon? A dragon is a terrible lizard. Now we've kind of turned them into this fantasy mythic thing nowadays, and people can draw up any kind of dragon they want. But I present that potentially dragons were the original word for what we now call dinosaurs. I mean, the Chinese emperor says that he was training dragons in his army. Why would that be on record if it wasn't true? And that's where I get to the next part. Dinosaurs have been around as of today. We've had several witnesses. This photo was taken by a search team to try to find the Loch Ness Monster. Ryan and Achilles, you may be familiar with this, but they were scanning the bottom and they found this really big thing by sonar, and they took a picture, and you have this diamond-shaped fin, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've
This
seen the
picture
photo,
right
yeah.
here is I don't know why this picture is made so popular. Can you take care of it? Figure it out. You figure it out. Please take care of it.
Well, and it's not just the Loch Ness monster. We have had so many encounters. The Ogopogo.
Yeah, we have the
And,
Ogopogo.
yeah,
Video
and
clips
also, yeah. Go ahead. I'll mention something later if you don't mention it. Yeah.
Can I
But I was just
can I
saying, like, yeah, we
recommend-
have a whole bunch of these. We had we had the Loch Ness Monster. I started with the famous one. We have the Ogopogo, which is in a lake in Canada. And then
Yeah.
we've had
There's
pterodactyl sightings. I've talked to now I can't vouch for the images on screen here. Those could be somebody's carefully constructed AI, or it could be real. I don't know. But I've talked to eyewitnesses who actually have seen pterodactyls. Some even in Texas. So like these
Indians.
I'm sorry?
And it's where they got the name for the brand, the car brand Thunderbird. They got it from a story that the Indians
yes.
had about a bird
Yes.
that got hit by a thunder and it fell. And they went there, and that was not a bird.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they've drawn what it was, and it was a pterodactyl.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it had a huge bump on the back of its head. So there's tons of witnesses all over the place who don't even have a reason to lie. There are these people in a swamp in Africa who would describe to the missionaries of finding a certain. They found a certain type of animal that ate their friends, and they asked, "Well, what type of animal is it?" And they call it Samoka umbembe. Okay, so he pulled out. He started describing it. They said, "Well, it's a reptilian. It has scales. It's really big." So I pulled out a book of dinosaurs, and it was like, "Okay, is it this one? No. Is it this one? No." They came upon one of the dinosaurs. I forget the name of it, but they said, "Yeah, that's the Bembe." And it was like, "This is straight up a dinosaur." This, like, why would they have any reason to lie? They don't know that dinosaurs are supposedly extinct. Go ahead, Achilles.
There was also an incident outside the east coast of the States where some people, 25 or 30-year-old guys, got shipwrecked and they got attacked by one of these.
Yeah.
Or not the birds, the Plesiosaurus, I think.
Yeah, plesiosaur. Right. Yeah.
Plesiosaurus, yes. And it ate one of them.
Well.
And the Coast Guard said that because people come to swim on this beach, we're not gonna report that it was something like that. We're gonna say that your friend drowned. And that's what the story is now, that one of them drowned, but they have given a testimony that they were running to escape the monster, and thank God it didn't want to eat them too. It ate one and it was satisfied and it left.
I actually remember the story because I remember Kent Hovind actually talking about that one time. I believe he ate 3 of the 4.
Maybe you are right. I don't remember it right. I know that it is on.
Yeah, they were going scuba diving. They were going scuba diving. Check out this abandoned ship, and they saw this thing that looked kind of like a big pole coming out of the fog, and then it would dip down, and like they started being eaten. It was like something right out of a horror movie, and one guy just swam for his life as far as he could go.
Yeah. And he has given the testimony, but people will be like, he was a crazy guy, Well, he lost 3 of his friends. But anyway, people gotta watch Kent Hovind's Dinosaurs in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's not just one example.
He has a ton of examples of eyewitnesses, people who have claimed to see the Loch Ness Monster, to people who have seen other types of dinosaurs. But there's one thing that blows my mind, okay? And this one really got my grandfather too. And my grandfather believes in evolution, and he worships 60 Minutes. And this is a clip straight from 60 Minutes, and that's why I want to show it to you. So I was talking to my grandfather, and I was like, so dinosaurs don't have soft tissue anymore, right? And he's like, yeah, they're all long gone. Soft tissue would have rotted or decayed or fossilized. And I said, okay, so if scientists were to ever find soft tissue, that would debunk the idea of dinosaurs being millions of years old, right? He said, oh yeah, for sure. Keep in mind, he is like a raving atheist, not atheist. He's a raving evolutionist. He believes that evolution happened. Dinosaurs are millions of years old. He's not an atheist, but he just believes in the idea of the millions of years old.
He would probably be considered a theistic evolutionist. Evolutionist.
So I showed him this clip, this 2-minute clip from 60 seconds, and I'll tell you how he reacted after we watched it.
What happened next happened by mistake. Mary put some fractions in
Full screen. Plus, we lost the audio for some reason.
I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Elastic, like living
there
tissue.
It is.
This is the.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. So if
and press the full screen.
You can still see it?
Why not? We can't. Oh, I know why. Are you sharing? Okay, you have it as a tab, so no, you're sharing your screen with audio. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sharing the tab. When I hit
Hello, Andrew.
tab.
Hello, Redeemed, and hello, Gangster. You're sharing a tab?
Yeah, I'm sharing a window.
No, you're sharing a window. Okay, so stop this
Okay, and then share the screen.
and share screen, and remember to tick the audio. It says share audio too.
It's not allowing me to click on the share audio. Well, it says to share audio.
Oh, you have to click inside that screen first, and then it will allow you.
Well, no, I can click inside the screen, but it still won't allow me to share the audio.
Wanna copy the link and put it in the private chat so I can share it?
Sure.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right with
That's
you.
all right. It happens.
But
Well,
first,
right now,
a word from our sponsors. Go ahead, Ryan.
right now, the traffic is moving smoothly, and I pray it continues to move smoothly because I've already been through a real slow patch. But Achilles, one thing that is never considered fun is driving from one side of Atlanta Metro to the other side of Atlanta Metro in rush hour traffic. That's never, ever a fun thing.
Yep. Rush hour, never good.
Yeah, I know, but that's when people do speaking arrangements, they tend to do it in conjunction with rush hour. So they can't they tend to time their speaking engagements along with rush hour. So it's unavoidable, unfortunately. But I am excited about meeting him, and I'm going to tell him about our channel. Stupid me, I don't have any cards with me or anything like that. They're all at work. Wait a minute. I have something
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on the other computer trying to do something.
I do have something I can give him. I took a picture of my screenshot of my show, and I made photocopies. I printed out copies of it. I can send him that. I can give him that. And such were some of you. I can give it to Christopher Yuan. That's such a relief that I can do that.
All right, sharing the screen. And
Commander traffic jam.
What happened next happened by mistake.
okay, mute. Let me mute Ryan because he's driving.
Yeah, you can mute me.
Yep. And I'll mute myself so no echo is coming.
Mary put some fragments of the bone in acid to dissolve away the outermost layer of mineral. But the acid worked too fast, and all the mineral dissolved away. Being a fossil, there should have been nothing left. But there was, and it was elastic, like living tissue.
This is the piece.
No. She showed us video she took under the microscope.
That's really what happened?
Yes.
That's the dinosaur bone?
Without mineral now. That's what was left.
It looked like the soft tissue she would have expected to find if it had been modern bone. This was impossible. This bone was 68 million years old.
So you see this and you think, what?
I didn't want to tell anybody.
You'd be ridiculed.
Pause it here.
And so I said to my technician, okay, do it
Pause
again.
it. So first thing she says, and we'll go back to watching the rest of it. First thing she says is, I didn't want to tell anybody. Should be ridiculed. Think about that for a second. In the scientific field, you're supposed to just show your evidence. Why do you think she'd be ridiculed for finding something like that? That's just the thought I wanted to put out.
No, you're right. It is a huge conspiracy. It is like you have to go with the narrative. If you can't go with the narrative, then they silence you. You know. Gosh, this traffic. Anyway, I'm gonna
go ahead. We'll film.
Huh?
Believe it.
Are you?
And
Who?
yet,
Who?
in
You,
sample after oh,
So you see this and you think, what? You
I didn't want to tell anybody.
you'd be ridiculed,
Yes.
right?
And so I said to my technician, okay, do it again. I don't believe it.
and yet, in sample after sample, they were there. Things that looked suspiciously like flexible, transparent blood vessels. She finally mustered the courage to tell Jack.
She said she dissolved the bone away and there were blood vessels. And, I was like shocked. I mean,
How could that be?
how could that be? That's right.
The things Mary was finding inside dinosaur bones,
Look at that.
blood vessels, and even what seemed to be intact cells, pose a radical challenge to the existing rules of science, that organic material can't possibly survive even 1,000,000 years, let alone 68 million.
Okay, so
Mary
pause it.
Jack and their team published.
So they just said the laws of science state that it can't exist over 1,000,000 years, not to mention several million years. So the laws of science state this. So what would be a logical conclusion if the laws of science says that soft tissue cannot last over 1,000,000 years? What would be the logical conclusion here? Anybody want to take a guess?
Well,
This
I
is the
would.
only logical explanation, that it's not that old, but it's the only explanation that they will avoid it like the plague.
The logical conclusion is if that soft tissue cannot last over 1,000,000 years, the dinosaur must be under 1,000,000 years old. It's that simple. It's like trying to figure out when the ship sank. You don't look for the oldest coin in the box, you look for the youngest. By looking for the youngest coin in the box, you can find the closest point to when it sank. If we know that 1,000,000 years is all we got, then you can't go past 1,000,000 years. I don't know if they mentioned the conclusion in this video, but we can watch the rest of it and see. But it is absolutely funny what the scientists have concluded after they made this discovery.
That she is crazy, that she is Baptist, that she is Christian, something like that, right?
I'm sorry?
I'm just saying that I'm supposing what they would say as a conclusion, that A, she's Baptist, B, she's influenced by Ken Hovind, C,
No. Watch this video. I'm going to see if they have it, and then if they don't, I'll mention it.
all right.
Findings in a series of papers in the journal Science and Principles of Science, that organic material can't possibly survive even 1,000,000 years, let alone 68 million. Mary, Jack, and their team published their BREX findings in a series of papers in the journal Science and were promptly attacked. Critics said their samples might have been contaminated, or that the supposed blood vessels were actually something called biofilm, a type of slime. But as Mary showed us, she's been able to replicate her findings. These are pieces of an even older dinosaur, a well-preserved 80-million-year-old duckbill. When she dissolved it away in acid,
Let's put this under the scope here.
well, look, is that a blood
This
vessel?
is a blood vessel. You see the branches right there? And look at all of them. And it's so consistent over and over and over again. You do the bone and it comes out and I get excited every time. I can't help it. I mean, 8 million years old.
Mary published her new results last year, and while some of her critics have been swayed, the controversy still rages, and the stakes are high. If blood vessels can survive 80 million years, what about DNA?
So at the end of the video, what did they assume? Blood vessels can now stay alive for 80 million years. That was their
Contaminated. It was contaminated. That's what they
say contaminated. They said, well, it goes against the laws of physics that they can now last more than 1,000,000 years. Well, I guess it's true. They can now last 80 million years.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can say.
How do they know those bones are over 1,000,000 years old? Carbon dating, we've proven that to be false. Here's the thing. They now said that the only way for those soft tissue things to be preserved is for it to be encased in like pure iron. Only way that they can think of.
Yeah.
And then the iron would have to erode away before we find it, because we don't find it in iron.
Right.
I mean, that's just dumb. I hate to break it to you, but that's dumb. If you want to
It
say,
is dumb.
well, it has to be encased in iron to be preserved, but we don't find them encased in iron. Therefore, they were encased in iron at one time. And then iron was all broken away without destroying the fossil. Iron's tough. How does iron just encase something? It doesn't just accidentally encase something. Anyway, so that's my concluding statement on not trusting the modern science, the mainstream of science. Because if you look at all that and you can't trust them anymore. They literally said the laws of science state that they can't last over 1 million years. And then they say in the same 2.5-minute video, this fossil has soft tissue and it lasted 80 million. That's a contradiction, right? Do I need to say more?
Not really. You are correct. The discovery of soft tissue. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. The discovery of soft tissue in dinosaur bones is really the nail on the coffin of the evolution belief. It's really they can't really explain it away. They try, but they can't do it. They have no way of doing it. They can pretend and they can make stuff up, but that's all they can do. Christopher, you're worth me sitting in this traffic. You're worth it, Christopher.
For those who don't know, Ryan's going to what is it? Is it an event? A show?
Yeah. He's a Christopher Yuan. He's a Christian speaker and author, and he's written 2 awesome books, maybe more. I'm not sure, but he's a YouTube personality also, and his testimony is that basically he used to live as a homosexual for a good number of years, and God delivered him from that, and he's devoted the rest of his life to helping others to be delivered from that life. And so he's kind of a hero of mine, a bit of a hero of mine. And I'm really looking forward to meeting him in person. So Jordan was going to go with me, but he is unfortunately ill.
Well, that's really all I have for today. As I said, it's going to be a very short one, simply because the answer is so stinking obvious. You don't really need to dig that deep to find out that dinosaurs are real. Like, the dinosaurs have been around.
Yeah,
it's like since the beginning to now, even that people still see them.
Yeah. And there's another one in Lake Champlain. I think they call it Champ, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Lake Champlain has a legend. Yeah.
Have you guys?
There's quite a few of them around, and
have you guys
I don't think I was the African. Do I?
Have you guys heard of the lobed fin fish?
Yep.
The lobed fin fish was supposedly extinct. They called it a living fossil.
Have the trilobite.
Ryan, you're breaking up. I can't understand you. As I was saying, I cannot.
You're breaking out, Ryan. Jeremiah, go ahead, brother.
The lobed fin fish was to be called a living fossil, and they were certain it was extinct. Their explanation, because they said that they all grew legs and crawled out of the water due to the fact that there were predators who were eating them out. And so they said, well, how did they survive? They said, well, some of them must have hidden in caves or something and survived. Doesn't make scientific sense. We weren't there. There's no way we could know. But the fact is, we found what they call a living fossil, something we believe was extinct. So if we found a fish,
now you broke out. Jeremiah, repeat your last sentence. That we found.
We found that fish. We found it alive.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if we found a living fossil, if we found something that we thought was extinct in the ocean, then how hard is it to believe that there are other things in parts of the world that we haven't explored? The native, like Africans that said that they found that dinosaur and they killed it and ate it. They live in a place where scientists don't really go. They live in a place that has barely habitat.
Yeah, you're talking about the Congo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Congo is a
Deep
very
in the
large area, and it's also mostly unexplored, largely unexplored.
Exactly. So if a living creature that humans would want to kill out that would be where it would be, somewhere where humans don't go. And the reason why I say humans want to kill them out is because we have tried dinosaurs extinct. Well, I mean, think about it. How many legends are there of people killing dragons and becoming heroes? I mean, if there was a bear in the sea and they're like, oh, there's a bear loose, it's roaming downtown. You know how many people would be out there with a gun trying to shoot it?
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like it would be like the hunt of the century.
Yeah, well, Doc Hoban says that one of the reasons why the dinosaurs died out mostly is that they started being hunted after the flood. They started being hunted for food.
And they were nuisances. They would be straight up nuisances.
And for proving what a hero someone is, that he killed the dragon. And we have all these tales that hero battled the dragon, and they exist in every culture. Phantom is asking a question. What's the guy's channel that you are going to see? I'm not sure what he's referring to. The 60-minute clips, the 60-minute clip that we watched. I didn't notice what channel it was.
Here, let me pull it up real quick because I still have it near the link.
I have it here too. It's called Divine Health and Life, but what matters is the clip.
I don't know that guy's beliefs. I just know that he posted that part of the video. So
exactly. Oh, the guy that Ryan is going to.
Oh, okay. That's just Christopher Yuan. I would imagine you go to Christopher Yuan.
Can you type it in the private chat? I can paste it in the public chat.
Let me see if I can find it.
Andrew is also asking for a link. I'm sorry, Andrew. We haven't posted a link. We are slacking.
So if you just type in Christopher Yuan, you can find it. That's Christopher, and then Yuan. That's Yuan. You can find a whole bunch of videos by him. They all seem to be by different YouTube channels. So I don't know which one would be his per se. But like, yeah, if you just type in Christopher Yuan, you get, and I spelled his name horribly wrong, but you can still get a lot of different things by him. Yeah. I don't know which channel it is.
There are few things more relevant.
What?
You might be able to look up the channel Holy Sexuality. It seems to have a lot of his videos on it. I don't know if that's his channel or not, but it seems to have a lot of stuff by him. Like he's in almost every video as the thumbnail.
I'm doing something else at the same time here, so pardon me.
I don't personally have his channel, but if I had to guess which one's his channel, it's probably Holy Sexuality / Christopher Yuan. You can find a lot of his content just by typing in Christopher Yuan. And as I said, I spelled it horribly wrong, and it came up anyways. So I wouldn't be too concerned about making sure you spell it right. He looks like some kind of Asian guy. That's all I know. Anyway, that's kind of the show for tonight. Like for now, we've only ran 40 minutes. I answered the question. I believe in a lot of accuracy and proficiency. So that's it. I'm gonna start dipping out. Anybody need anything? Anybody have any questions?
Nothing. I want people to watch. It is online. They can watch it there, but if they can buy it only for $50 to get the whole 12-hour long series. But Kent Hovind seminars. This one that we talked about today is the dinosaurs in the Bible. And finding out whether there is a God or not, I'm sorry to break it to you, viewers, it is your responsibility. If there are atheists out there that are watching this or not even watching it and saying, oh, that's what Ken Hovind says, well, you're taking their word without checking out that what Ken Hovind did is just put the dots together and bring up the evidence for you, because what he is presenting is scientific today, is the things that we mentioned here. He's giving you always quotations from where things come from. And you're going to discover with those that did that carbon dating doesn't work. It's based on a lot of assumptions, and they fill in the gaps, and they're telling you that this is science. That is not science. And the science is that there is a creator on this world, and everything proves him. So if there are atheists online, which you can find many, I mean, if we run a debate, they're going to start popping in like popcorn. They will pretend to be the scientific side, and they are ignoring all that evidence. So if I tell you that if I ignore the sun, I insist it's night out there, I may be paranoid, but if you go along to what I'm saying, you are now paranoid as well, and this is mass paranoia. So don't listen to people that don't look at all the evidence and all the sides. Look them up yourself. It's a responsibility you have to figure out what you're doing here. So don't take the word of people who say, oh, you know, I have this paper. I have a paper, a scientific paper myself. Others have too. Ken Hovind does too. And they're like, oh, you know, they're not accredited. Oh, right. And he brings up the evidence, and they're like, oh, that's what a Baptist said. That's just a straw man. I mean, wake up. They seem to be working for the enemy. I hope they will realize it at some point. I mean, if the enemy is paying, then good. But if he's not even paying them and they are working for him, then that makes them stupid. So I don't consider you a scientist if you don't look at all the evidence. It's the evidence that leads to a truth. Any truth with lack of evidence is not a truth, it's a theory. Then you add lies to that theory, and they are pushing it as a narrative for you not to question, because you will be considered crazy and going against the theory if you do. So yeah, that was my conclusion. I've actually made a video comparing things from that documentary with the comedic side that is presented by atheism, and I'm using Bill Hicks and his jokes, and I'm gonna share it. And from my part, this is the last time I care. I feel like there is a responsibility. Our job is to show you, and then it's your job to actually figure it out. We can explain it to you, but we cannot understand it for you. See that difference? So I'm already in the video trying to see if this is the one. I cannot share a clip in here because the Bill Hicks parts are heavily copyrighted, and I've done some edits on it to bypass the copyright blocks. But they work different on live streams.
I am generally the same as you are as well, with the idea of just not wanting to continue this anymore. It's, you know, I've even made a series where I've asked, is there a God? Who is God? And which Bible do you go to? So after all of that and concluding all of that, I feel like I've answered the question. It's time to move on.
Yeah, and there is personal responsibility on this. It's not just we're gonna put you down and hammer you down until you get it. You have a responsibility. So I kind of found it, but then I have to skip and get to the point because there are different things mentioned. All the first hour is different things. So, all right, here I am. All right. So give me one more minute. I'm gonna start at 44:59. I mean, okay, I could start at 50, but anyway, I got it. I got the link. I'm gonna paste it here in the comments. And I'm sorry for everything else that exists and it's not related, but that video was not just to convince about that. The previous part, this is called Part E, 2023, Part E. Although this is not 2023 information, but for me, this is the last, one of the last years that you can get it now or not get it. So I was presenting them for a final time. And then after that is another part that is called Part F, and it's called The Lying Religion, and it speaks of evolution and presents other parts from Ken Hovind's seminars. I've put them together from different parts, and I'm highly suggesting that you buy the whole thing. It changed my life, and it changes a lot of people's lives, because if you are truly scientific, then you are under the narrative as well. And I was as well. My mind was very hard to convince. And I got convinced by the evidence that Ken Hovind presented. And then I looked deeper, and they are there. So, sorry for the rant. I think this is this had to go out there. And brother, you can check it out as well. I hope you like it. It starts with Bill Hicks saying, if the Bible is real, where are the dinosaurs? And I'm responding with Kent Hovind, and then he continues and says, I have, okay, then dinosaur fossils. Where do those fit in? And Kent Hovind gives the answer to that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, Ryan is turning and turning and turning. I'm gonna remove him from the stage until he stops spinning.
I'm about done. I got some time things coming up on me, so I gotta head out. So,
all right,
show's over, I guess. Unless you have anything else you want to just talk to the audience about.
No,
bye.
I'm good. Okay, he left. Okay, so now it's my show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Jeremiah after party. So God bless, and talk to you on the next one.